Well, one last shape, and that is the sphere, the ball shape, round ball shape. It's hard to draw here in two-dimensional, the three-dimensional shape, but here's sort of how I try to draw it anyway. Yeah, so you got a ball shape. All right. The good thing on the sphere is you only need one measurement, and that is the radius. And the volume and surface area is based off of that. The volume is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. And then the surface area is 4 pi times the radius squared. Don't have a good way to describe how those values, that formula comes to be, but that's what they are. So the volume, say, let's just do 1 or 2 here. What would be the volume of the sphere with radius? Let's say the radius is 14 centimeters. Okay? Well, the volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So it'll be 4/3 times 3.14 times the radius cubed, 14 cubed. That would give me, let's see, 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 14 cubed. Plug it all in there. I get 11,488.21 cubic centimeters. All right, the surface area also, through volume and surface area of the sphere here. Surface area is just 4 pi r squared, 4 pi r squared. So that'll be 4 times pi, 3.14, times r squared. So I'd just do 14 squared, so that'd be 4 times 3.14 times 14 squared, 2,461.76 surface area. So we're back to square centimeters. Okay. One thing I forgot to point out with the pyramid and prism, note there on those two, I didn't talk about the surface area. I mean, you could certainly calculate the surface area of all the surfaces, but there's, as far as formula goes, there's not a nice one for those. So, of course, we don't write that down. But for sphere, volume, and surface area, we have formulas for those. For the cylinder, the box, we have surface area formulas there for those. But pyramid and prism, we didn't do surface area of. All right, now I've got one more problem I want to show you here. And it kind of goes in reverse of what we were doing these other problems, and that is I'm going to take a problem where I have known the surface area and I want to find the radius, and then I can find the other parts as well. Here's the problem. All right, so let's find the radius, diameter, and volume of a sphere with surface area 500 pi square inches. Find the radius, diameter, and volume of a sphere with surface area, sorry about that, 500 pi square inches. Okay. Well, in this case, what I would have is this. I know the surface area. I don't know the radius, diameter, and volume. So, where do I start with that? Well, since I know the surface area, let's start with that formula. The surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. S equals 4 pi r squared. Okay? Now, like we said, we don't know r. However, we do know the surface area is 500 pi. So in this formula, where would abouts would the 500 pi go? Since it's the surface area, it goes in for S, doesn't it? So S, I'm going to replace by 500 pi. So I get 500 pi equals 4 pi r squared. So what this amounts to now is then what I can do with that is I can find here the radius. I can get the radius on a side by itself. To do that, my first step is going to be, well, I can get rid of the 4 pi because it's times the r squared, and you know, to undo multiply, you do divide, to undo addition, you subtract, and vice versa. But here we have multiply. So to undo that, so to speak, we divide. So we divide by 4 pi. 4's cancel, the pi's cancel. That leaves me just r squared right there. Now, nicely over here, the pi's also cancel. Then you have 500 divided by 4, that's 125. We have 125 equals r squared. Well, if 125 equals r squared, don't I square root 125? And that'll be r? Yeah. Square root of 125, which is, punch it up here, along's about 11.18. That's my radius. So we can find the radius. If we've got the surface area, yeah, we can find there the radius. Going through a similar process. Now, for the others, well, your diameter, what do we know about diameter? Well, it's twice the radius. So if the radius is 11.18 inches, the diameter is going to be 2 times 11.18, so that's 22.36 inches for the diameter. The volume, how do we get it? Well, it's another formula. It's 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, since I have the radius, I can do the volume. It's 4/3 pi, so 3.14, times the radius cubed, so it'd be 11.18 cubed. Multiply all that together, and you would have it. 4/3, 4 divided by 3, times 3.14 times 11.18 cubed. 5850.5. That would be cubic inches for the volume. All right?